Welcome everybody. My name is Tim Sandy and I'm a VMware Systems Engineer. In this month's enablement session, I'll provide a quick overview as well as provide the latest updates for vROPS 6.1 as well as vRealize Operation 6.1. So let's get started. For those of you that may be new to Virtual SAN, or vSAN as we call it, and what it does, let me do a brief overview for you. Simply put, vSAN takes all of the local storage on each of your ESX hosts participating in the vSAN cluster, and then virtually combines all of the storage to create a single virtual data store. This can be used instead of your typical shared storage, such as a traditional SAN or NAS device, which is external of your hosts, where all your hosts connect to it for your storage. Then the virtual administrator can manage vSAN from the vSphere web client without needing the knowledge and the experience of a storage administrator like you typically would when you have that external SAN or NAS storage. Typically you need somebody that's very skilled at being a SAN administrator to administer that SAN because it's much more complicated and difficult, whereas with vSAN, because it's all baked right into the hypervisor, it makes it very easy for a virtual admin who's not a storage admin to be able to manage it without having those storage skills that a typical storage engineer would to manage that traditional NAS or SAN device. Since vSAN 6.0, it's offered two configurations. The first is what we call hybrid model, where it uses SSDs for a caching tier, and then one or more standard hard disk drives for your consistent data, or your what you might want to call capacity. And then we have the all-flash model, which uses SSDs for both the caching and the consistent data storage, or capacity tier, to provide an even superior performance. So that's just a real quick description of vSAN and what it is and kind of how it was offered up starting with vROPS 6.0. But let's talk more about what's new in vSAN 6.1. vSAN 6.1 has brought many improvements to an already great product. The improvements can be broken down into three main groups. The first group is categorized as enterprise availability and data protection. One of the most exciting enhancements is the ability to use stretch clusters, which provide the ability to stretch vSAN across more than one physical site. This provides the ability to have no downtime or data loss for your environment for migrations, planned outages, as well as unplanned outages. We also now support the use of SMP fault tolerance, which ensures continuous uptime for your business critical servers. Oracle RAC and Microsoft clustering services are also supported in this release, making it easy to support all of those business critical applications that you may have. For those that have DevOps departments, we also support integrated OpenStack and containers to meet their needs, as well as making vSAN ready for any application. The second group of improvements relates to advanced management and troubleshooting. The vSAN Health Check tool is now built into vCenter and is designed to provide troubleshooting and health reports on your vSAN subsystems. Before, this was something that you would have to individually install into your environment, but now it's a part of vCenter, making it much easier again for the administrator, that virtual administrator, to have to manage it. When using vRealize Operation 6.1 or vROPS with your vSAN environment, it can now provide comprehensive global views across multiple vSAN environments, again making that job easier. Smart alerts provide detailed insight and information to reduce troubleshooting time and catch issues before they even affect the end users. It also allows you to do capacity planning against your vSAN environment, making annual planning and budgeting much easier and more accurate than ever before. And finally, vSAN 6.1 has new hardware options. We now are offering a 2-node Robo vSAN option, which has been requested by customers ever since vSAN first was released, so a lot of people are excited about this option. This offers a more cost-effective vSAN option for remote office, branch office, or Robo locations because you only have to have purchased 2 physical vSAN nodes instead of the normal 3, which is typically the minimum. So for organizations with a main data center and numerous remote sites, this offers them a more cost-effective way to configure their environment. And finally, we now support the new NVMe and UltraDIMM hardware and memory, which provide better performance and hardware configurations for your vSAN environment. So let's talk briefly about the new licensing models for vSAN 6.1. In the previous versions of vSAN, the licensing had the core vSAN license for the hybrid configuration, and then you had an additional add-on license which was needed when you wanted to use the all-flash option. This the licensing models have now changed because of vSAN 6.1 because of the addition of vSAN Robo, for example. So let's go through each one of those so you fully understand them. vSAN 6.1 has 3 licensing models that are available. The first is vSAN Standard, which is for that hybrid configuration, again using SSD for the caching tier and then using standard hard drives for that consistent persistent data tier. And it also includes the new vROPS management packs and vSAN replication capabilities, as you see in the green there. And the second option with vSAN Advanced Licensing, which is for when you want to go with that all-flash configuration, both flash for caching and your capacity tier. It includes the stretch cluster capability as well. And finally, the third option is the vSAN Robo, which I mentioned previous slide. And this licensing model is, so again, you can use 2 physical nodes for those robo sites, and then you have a virtual node that you typically will reside back in your main data center. But again, there's no cost to that because it's a virtual ESXi node. As you see, this license has the same capabilities as the standard license, but it does provide a more cost-effective way, again, of implementing vSAN for those smaller remote office, branch office sites that you may have. Since the licensing has changed, we're going to go through the upgrade options for those that currently have vSAN 6.0 licenses as well. So as you see in this slide here, it gives you a transition, shows you if you're coming from 6.0 license as to what it would go to with the 6.1 change in the licensing scheme. For those of you with the existing vSAN 6 license for hybrid model, you're then going to get upgraded to the new vSAN 6.1 standard license. For those with the all-flash add-on license currently, they'll be upgraded to the vSAN 6.1 advanced licenses. And for those that have the vSAN for desktop licenses, the conversion is the same as what I mentioned before. Now, in case you're not familiar with the vSAN for desktop licenses, whenever you're buying the Horizon View higher editions, it comes with vSAN licensing as well, which is meant to be used for your virtual desktop infrastructure environment. So that's what that's referring to. So that completes all the updates related to vSAN 6.1. And for the second part of this session, we're going to go ahead and discuss the updates related to vRealize operations or vROPS 6.1. Like I said with vSAN, let me take a minute to provide a quick overview of vROPS for those that may not be familiar with it. In most organizations, IT operations is focused on 3 main goals: delivering a high quality of infrastructure, services, and applications. Second is to operate IT assets as efficiently and cost-effective as possible. And third is implement and adhere to IT policies, standards, and regulatory requirements. And we all know that that's becoming more and more an issue, especially for healthcare and financial institutions. vROPS helps deliver these goals with intelligent operations management across your physical, virtual, and cloud infrastructures. It correlates the data from all the applications to storage in a unified and easy-use management tool. It does this while providing control over performance, capacity, and configuration with predictive analytics driving a proactive action and policy-based automation. vROPS also helps you to spot potential issues before the end users are even impacted, and then provide suggestions on how you can resolve those issues very quickly and efficiently. It also provides you root cause analysis information, so this greatly reduces the time that a virtual admin has to spend troubleshooting the issue and getting everything back and operational very quickly. It also provides capacity planning capabilities, providing insight into if and when you will run out of resources, and offer the ability to input upcoming projects to see how this will affect your resources and also your needs. For those organizations that have to meet those compliance standards, vROPS will assist in the configurations, monitoring, and notification of compliance-related issues for your environment. Again, like those people that are such as healthcare, in the banking industry, government, they all have to follow certain compliance standards. So vROPS will definitely help you do that and ensure that you are monitoring that to where you stay that way continuously. So now that you know a little bit about what vROPS is and what it can do, let's go over the updates related to 6.1. We made several improvements with vRealize Ops 6.1. These can be grouped into kind of 3 key areas. First, we have the intelligent workload placement. This is something new. This helps optimize your vSphere environment to ensure that the VMs are placed on the proper resources and to ensure your environment runs optimally. It uses policies to enforce workloads to meet the requirements that you've set for them. We also have made improvements to capacity planning, allowing you to plan and commit a project to allocate the resources immediately. This affects the vROPS capacity analysis information, such as time remaining and capacity remaining badges. vROPS 6.1 now has in-guest awareness of OS and application infrastructure with in-guest visibility through agent-based data collection and auto-discovery of in-guest assets, applications, disks, and a bunch of other options as well. OS monitoring supports Windows, Linux, and Unix for your physical and virtual systems for both on-premise and hybrid cloud environments. Now, this used to be done through the use of another tool that we had, but now this is something, and the change related to this is that we've now taken the capabilities from this other tool and we've made it a part of vROPS natively inside of it. vROPS also provides you unified management for your environment with many management packs. It can give you a deeper insight into your storage, networking, and cloud environments. So it's not just your vSphere environment anymore and your vSphere server related servers. It again gives you that insight into storage, network, and cloud. So now your virtual admin can see how the entire environment is running and seeing if maybe networking or storage is actually what's causing an issue with one of your VMs. It has an open and extensible platform. It makes it easier to manage large, complex, and heterogeneous environments with open and extensible architecture, and also with scalability and resiliency to support high complex environments. So with the newer versions of vROPS, ever since the 6.0 product came out, we've made high availability a major part of this, ensuring that your ops environment is always up and running at all times. With the use of these management packs, the vSphere administrator again has that deep insight into their entire software-defined data center, not just their vSphere environment, such as their hosts and their VMs. It also improves business continuity and disaster recovery planning through automated application discovery and mapping, and by identifying the impact of infrastructure changes and dependencies. And finally, with policy-based automation, it provides out-of-the-box configuration and compliance policies and the ability to customize these on your own as well. With the vSphere hardening guide that's built in, it helps ensure that the environment is secured using VMware's best practices. This saves administrators time and provides a safe and secure environment. Many banks and healthcare, again, organizations are required to meet security compliance standards such as SOX, PCI, and HIPAA. The vROPS compliance toolkits enforce nonstop conformance with a broad range of standards, saving time trying to configure and monitor compliance within your environment all the time. I did want to mention a few other enhancements that were made. We now have the ability to add notes to alerts. This makes it easier for administrators to keep track of who is managing the particular issue and what they may have done to resolve this issue. So with me being an operational guy, this was a request that I had put in when they were looking for suggestions, and I was glad to see that they actually did this, because this makes that virtual admin's jobs much easier, especially if you have multiple admins that are managing one environment. That way it's much easier to see what the fixed action was, and then you can go back and look at that if it happens again and see what the fixed action was. So again, just all these things to save time for that virtual admin. It also supports IP version 6 and Windows 2012 R2 for the installable. vRealize Ops Foundation is being end-of-lifed, so just be aware of that. And finally, there is a direct upgrade path to 6.1 for those with previous versions, which it definitely is one thing that a lot of virtual admins were very glad to see. This makes the upgrade process much easier for them. So now let's take a look at the license model for vRealize Ops 6.1. It can be purchased as a standalone product or in a bundle with other VMware products, much like you'll see with many of our other products. The standalone product comes in 3 editions. You have Standard, which gives you the core health monitoring and proactive smart alerts, root cause analysis, and guided remediations. Advanced licensing adds customized dashboards, OS monitoring, application discovery and dependency mapping, as well as third-party management packs for deeper insight into your network storage and servers. So if you have any customers that are really looking to get that insight into their storage, their networking, and everything, they're going to want to go with at least the advanced edition. And then Enterprise goes a step further and provides deeper than just a look into the operating system, but all the way down to the application, middleware, and database monitoring, as well as OS level configuration and compliance, and finally management packs for apps and databases. So for those customers that are really looking to get into the compliance and making sure that they're controlling their compliance, as well as getting down to the application level, and seeing how maybe that database is running, the Enterprise is going to be the addition for them. vROPS can also be purchased as a part of the vSphere with Operations Management or vSAN bundle, the vRealize Ops Insight bundle, which is basically vRealize Operations with our Log Insight product together. Then we have the vCloud Suite, which is for a customer that has an all vSphere environment but wants to have multiple of our management products such as automation, business, as well as ops and insight. And then vRealize Suite is for those customers that maybe are looking, that need to not only have a vSphere environment, but then maybe they have something out on Amazon Web Services or Azure and on vCloud Air, as well as maybe a Citrix environment. So those mixed environments, both on-premise, public cloud, and mixed environments, the vRealize Suite gives all those management products within a suite. So that is the licensing, again, either standalone in the standard enterprise or, standard advanced or enterprise, and then we have it also as part of these multiple software bundles as well. So that completes this session on the updates for vSAN and vROPS 6.1. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information presented was valuable to you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.